So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first digital music conference in the northern sector. I know it has happened in other regions, but this is the first MTN music conference in the northern sector. I think you're going to put your hands together for MTN. Over the course of the program, we shall have the opportunity to listen to several speakers, personalities that represent different links in the music production chain, detailing how in Ghana, and also tap the opportunities that are there. But before we go into the personal experience, let's welcome from the MTN, Mr. Bless Stefano Ajogo, the Senior Manager, the Project, Product and Services, MTN, to give us the welcome address. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for, I call him Papa Blessed. Yes, indeed, the man is blessed. Thank you, sir.
Distinguished guests, our brothers and sisters from the music industry here in the northern sector, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Oh, good morning. I'm excited to be part of the Digital Music Conference Tamale edition. I must say that this conference is timely on many fronts. Just this week in Kumasi, we did the second part of what we began in Accra last week. I guess some of us here will still be wondering why the Digital Music Conference. Many of us will recall that less than a decade ago, a lot of people rely on analog or legacy technologies, such as tapes and CDs, as the only means to acquire or listen to music. However, this changed along the line with the introduction of devices such as iPods and media codecs such as MP3. This paved way for the digital music revolution we have today. Many people, especially the millennials, who form the chunk of music consumers these days, buy music online just by a click on a given website or streaming site, which has made obsolete what we know 10 years ago. In many ways than ever before, music is being enjoyed through multiplicity of channels. The music streaming business is now far advanced in many markets, and stakeholders are playing a catch-up role. As compared to the advanced markets, our story here in Ghana is different. Our market is in a nascent stage. Industry players in our part of the world, especially in Ghana, are doing their best to fully understand the dynamics of the trends. As a result of this, our artists and music makers are losing out of this vast digital market and the opportunities available in that space for music. Besides, the need to digitize our music, we have also gained an insight from organizing Hitmaker for almost a decade that points to a thriving and highly diverse music industry dotted with ethos, bring resources and personnel in the digital space to guide our music market makers here on how they can fully take advantage of the music space. In an era where consumer behavior shapes the type of services being delivered, this conference will furnish all participants with technical know-how to manage the needs of their consumers. This conference, industry players will learn to exploit the tools, trends, possibilities that technology provides, and how these tools can be used to build totally a world that will impact local and global audience for music. Ladies and gentlemen, it is critical to utilize the convenience that digital music provides. Let's work hand in hand in harnessing the benefits of digital technology to transform lives and help leapfrog the fortunes of the Ghanaian music industry, and particularly that of the northern music. For us at MTN, we are ready to support and move Ghana music industry forward in every way within our means. This is why MTN Ghana has, over the years, been working to ensure that every Ghanaian enjoys the full benefits of a modern connected world. One of such initiatives is the MTN Shorts. MTN Shorts has provided opportunity for many to upload and share their content while being economically empowered. To conclude, permit me to say that though challenges will remain in this industry, the focus that players in the creative arts industry will receive fairly what is due them for their intellectual property. Ladies and gentlemen, we entreat you to stay glued to your seats, engage yourself in the discussions, and consume a lot as much of the resources that will be engaging with you today. We thank you for your coming. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Oh, how many people clap? 3? Is there only 3 people that clap for him? And the clapping shows that it's only the men that are clapping. The ladies are not. Can the ladies clap for him? He's a senior manager, product and services, MTN. And then you do music on LED shows, on LED platforms. People get your music, they play. You don't get paid for it. And this is an experience that advantage you should take and learn and make sure that every day, every month, depending on how many people listening to you, you're making some money, and that is why this conference has been put together. I know many people have been in the music industry for years, and it's quite difficult for them to make ends meet. But I thank God that MTN has made sure that the digital world is open to us, that we'll be able to make something for ourselves and our family, even at old age. Once again, I want you to put your hands together for the Senior Manager, Product and Services from MTN. Now moving on, like the experience we've had across the world and that of our nation, Ghana, and the things that is happening, we have one of our finest in our midst to share with us their personal experiences in 5 minutes. What could have been done differently during their tenure, and what is happening now if they have had that opportunity. I don't think they'll be where they are today. And I still believe that with those songs they have, they can still put it on those platforms and still make some money out of it. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together. How many of you know this song? Sewodomia. Oh. Sewodomia. Besomiza mayan kofi. Sewodomia. Put your hands together. Let's welcome Coward Stone to share with us an experience that he's had in his music career. Oh, he's called Papa what? Bra what? Bra what? Bra Rashid, welcome.
Thank you very much. Let me say a very good morning going out to my colleague media men and women, and also good morning going out to all colleague musicians around here. And once again, I say welcome to MTN for this wonderful conference that I think at the end of the day, we are going to benefit as musicians. So once again, welcome. Yes, my name is Mohammed Abdul Rashid. I am called in the industry as Kawawa. Some call me Kawastone. Now I'm grown. You can see gray around here. So we have rebranded ourselves, and so it's now Bra Rashid. I form part of a group known as Blackstone. And in the year 2000, we released our maiden album, Femano. I think Mr. L remixed it some ways. So I want to, put it back to, where it belongs. I say, you now can say, I didn't know you media, me wana. Logoligia, ooh, yeah. I didn't cry now, yeah, missa. So, domia, befimano, besomimu. Yes, this is a beautiful opportunity, and I want to take our people back to, how we used to do it and how difficult it was. At the time, there were no studios here. Those that we had here were not quality enough to match the market nationally. So most of our recordings were done in either Kumasi or in Accra. It was that difficult. You finish recording full album. These days, our brothers and sisters are doing singles. At the time, you couldn't just send one song to a producer or whoever for the producers to take care of finance their album. So definitely you have to have full album. So you would go to Accra, do the full album. When it is done, you send it to senior most colleagues like Sharif Gali and the rest to listen to it and then tell you how good it is or what some of the things that you could maybe rework on to ensure that you have a successful album. When that is done, you then go back to the mastering board. These days we don't master songs. Once you take it from studio, then it is on air. You take it to a master studio like Ghana House in Accra. We have another branch in Kumasi. They will remaster the song, make sure this bass line is supposed to be at this level. This hi-hat is supposed to be at this level in that order. When it is done, then you go for the duplication. So the duplication is done, and then you now bring it home, get the publicists, most of which was done by many of our radio presenters and other stuffs. Then they send it into the market so we could get something small for the one who has spent money in, and then you also get something. So at that point, though it was not enough, but we're making something. This is, I can't remember the last time we heard someone saying he's selling an album or cassette. Few. And even with a few people, how well is this, sold? So I am only entreating our brothers and sisters to embrace this beautiful, platform that is before us to ensure that we enjoy. My song up to now, Femano, is enjoying airplay wherever you go. Not only here, everywhere. And I wish we had that same, opportunity at the time. By now, I would have been swimming in some millions of CDs. So, they always say that it's always better late than never. And so, we are so lucky that we are still alive. And this opportunity is now with us. So, we can still take advantage of them. But for those of you who have just, started the music business, you are so fortunate to have the social media before you use it the way you want. This is a platform that I think we should embrace and ensure that we know we make ourselves available for MTN to support us to make money. So what I would say is that I don't have much time. I'm supposed to spend only 5 minutes. I'm talkative, pardon me. And so I'm sure I've exceeded 5 minutes. So I'll tell my brothers and sisters here to, embrace this opportunity. Let's see how best. We can't just be making music for making sake. For God's sake, some of us have spent virtually half of our years in doing music. And sometimes it's very, very difficult, to show something for it. So you are growing, and this is what you have chosen for yourself. And so I entreat you to see MTN Music Time is there. We have so many other platforms that you can take advantage of best. Once we are here, and I believe in MTN. So I believe if we embrace this opportunity very well, it will go a long way to, taking up that kind of, this kind of image they have for musicians as though we are nothing, we are good for nothing people and all that. So in a nutshell, I say we welcome this platform, and I want you to take up, the advantage and ensure that we all enjoy in the future. Thank you very much.
I thought you're going to clap better for him. Did you say I did a remix of the song? Bra Rashid. I did a remix of the song. Yeah, so maybe we need to go back to the studios and then maybe add some trumpet sound to it to make it look different. And then we can also put it on the platform and make some cool lucha with it. But remember, it's the MTN Digital Music Conference 2019 with a team, the music industry, and adapting to emerging global technologies, opportunities, and challenges. With a hashtag, we day for you. Oh, coming up is one of the Ghana's finest during his tenure, his time as a reggae artist. We all know him. Most of you were looking up to him. He's a brother, he's a friend. Niele, 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 Niele. Oh, I thought you were going to sing with me. Let's welcome our own Ghana's finest, Sheriff Gali.
Hello. Good to see you. Yeah, good morning. And it's good to be in the midst of my my friends and my brothers, and I don't know where to start from, but it's something simple, yeah? The way I see it, the world, human beings are here and always trying to improve upon life. And from thousands of years before, people have always tried and improved upon the quality of life, making things easier for us to live, making life easier for ourselves, and for us to be able to work effectively. That's what technology is about. This is where we have come to. MTN is providing another opportunity to make life easier, especially for us artists. And I have always said, reading from sources, that musicians will always survive. Can you imagine, when it started out, musicians used to just play, sing and play instruments to entertain people at parties and things like that. Then there came a time when people devised the method of writing music. That was the first crisis that the musicians suffered. When people started writing music, in Europe, for example, using the European example, when composers started writing their music on paper, what happened is that the rich people who used to call them every day, every week to come and perform for money, could now buy a piece of music which is written on paper, store that music, and choose which artist or which musician they wanted to come and play that song. So if you were a composer, you were now tasked, you had to write more compositions to sell. Initially, you could write one composition and decide who plays it every week, every day. But people could then buy the paper and choose which musician to play. Then the composer, you would be out of business. The same thing happened when the world discovered audio recording technology. When people could record music and voice on audio tapes, even the written music didn't matter anymore. Before the recordings were discovered, musicians were employed in radio stations to play. If the radio station wanted to play music on air, they had to have a live musician in the studio to play. So the musician can be employed as part of the station to always play. But now, when they discovered recording technology, they just record. You play once, they record. They don't need you anymore. So you don't have to be employed. Many musicians were out of job. You have the music on tape, you play it whenever and however you need it. And that was the second crisis for the music industry. But still, musicians survived. Now we are in our third crisis, perhaps. The internet has evolved so much. people are sharing music for free on social media. And we can no longer sell tapes. I still have some tapes of my last album in the house. Because, you know, from the last production we did, that was in 2007. The last album I published, was in 2007. I still have some tapes of it in the house, which were meant to be sold. But I had to survive. I had to find a way. CDs would not buy anymore. Cassettes, everything out of business. The only way you can sell music, recorded music these days, is through the internet and streaming. Thank God, you know, I was able to adapt. Even though I have been on break since 2007 approximately, I have not recorded, I have not published. I have gone on break from performance, from recording, since, let me just say, officially from 2007, or maybe around 2010, almost the last 10 years. But you can still search on iTunes, on Amazon, and you'll find Sheriff Gali music to buy. Why? Because it takes teamwork. It takes teamwork. Remember, one other important thing, there's no shortcut. You cannot do it without education. It takes teamwork. And people want to work with other people who add value to their work. Nobody wants to partner a stupid person. Nobody wants to partner a person who is not creative. And remember, if you have the ability to create music, it is just like someone who has gold buried in their land. You have to dig that gold up. You have to wash it, extract it from that soil. You have to process it into something valuable that people would want to wear it out. People would want to cherish it and say it is something valuable. So your talent alone would not take you far. At worst, people would exploit you, or at best, people would exploit you. You need to educate yourself, no matter what. You need language. If you are a musician, you're singing to people. You need language. You determine your audience. So you must learn the language of your audience. Technology is some kind of a language. It's a medium through which you sell your music or you produce your music. You must understand technology of the time. Social emotions. You live among people. You are in a society. You need to understand the psychology of people. You need to understand how you relate with people. You need to educate yourself about all of these. You need to spiritually build yourself in terms of educating to understand yourself, whom you are. If you don't know whom you are, you cannot go anywhere. You cannot even decide whom you want to work with or not. And that is spiritual, something personal to you. So you must educate yourself spiritually, you must educate yourself socially, you must educate yourself technologically, scientifically, generally. And musicianship, you must educate yourself musically. You can create music, but you must. I can assure you, look, if you understand music and you learn it well, you understand it and you create it well, people will sell you. That is your brand. The easiest way and the cheapest way to build your brand is to live the brand. Make it your lifestyle. You don't need money to wear expensive things to attract people to you. It all starts with you. So your success starts with you. If you educate yourself properly, people, you'll become a point of attraction for people. And your value would live forever, as long as even beyond your life. We still share the Bob Marley story, even though he's been long gone, since 1981, we still share the Bob Marley story. I was just enjoying Bob Marley music on my way here. And everybody who appreciates music would never look down on Bob Marley's music because it was something of value. And that started from his personality. And long after him, people who believed in that personality are still marketing and promoting it. So build yourselves as an individual, and the rest of the story will follow from there. For my example, that is how we did it. For all my friends who are here, Prince Mahama is here. He was my first guitar teacher. He was my first guitar teacher. I was in the College of Education learning to become a teacher. And after class, I would leave school, even though I was not supposed to. I would break fence, I would jump fence, and go to Prince Mahama without a guitar. I did not have a guitar at that time. To pick his guitar, he would teach me some lessons on the guitar. I would practice for an hour or two and go back home or go back to school until I was able to acquire my first guitar. Because at a point I realized that if I say I'm a musician, I must understand music. And I cannot understand music if I do not know how the instrument works, if I do not understand the theory of music. And thank God, and thank Prince Mahama, I have never regretted for learning the guitar. You must learn an instrument. It is necessary. If you want to go far as a musician, it will help you. There's no exchange. There's nothing you can do about it. These are the ABCD of music. After learning guitar from him, I went ahead. My father told me, well, if you want to do music, because I started when I was in senior high school. My first album was released when I was in second year in senior high school. So when I see young people doing it, I know what I can relate. But the danger with young people is that at that age, you have so much emotions. And if you are not lucky, you think you know more than everybody. People don't understand you, and so you push it your own way, and if you are not careful, you can go wayward. You can do it. You need that spirit, but you need some guidance. Seek help. In 1995, my first two albums, my first and second albums were released in 2 months interval. And the first one was a blast. Those of you who are old enough would know Ablakunkong. Simple in G major was the title, but it became popular as Ablakunkong. Within 1 month of release, we were selling thousands. But it wasn't what I wanted to do. I did it because the producer in the studio recommended that. And he felt I was the right artist to do it. And we did it. It became a hit. And what I wanted to do myself was the second album. So it was a negotiation. We did what he wanted, and we did what I wanted. What he wanted became a hit, and what I wanted did not go anywhere. So I tasted my first stardom, and I also tasted my first lesson in the same year. So I had to learn music myself. I had to try and understand things. My father told me, if you want to do music, no problem. I would not obstruct you. But you go to school for me. I put you in school. Make sure you don't stop along the way. Make sure you complete your education, and I would support you in whatever way in your music. And thank God, I went on to acquire a Master of Philosophy in Music today. So your education will not stop anything that you want to do in your life. Education will not draw your music back. And I keep saying education. Remember, it is not necessarily schooling. Even if you are not in school today, you can still acquire education. It is not only in schools that we acquire education. Bob Marley, as I mentioned earlier, was a 6th grader. He didn't go beyond primary school, but he educated himself. Don't mistake the fact that they say he didn't go beyond primary school, then you think he did not educate himself. So if you are someone who happens to be in a circumstance where you cannot proceed with formal education, the schooling, please, there are informal ways by which you still acquire education. There's no way out for you. You have to educate yourself. And like I said, it's teamwork, learn social. I learned with Prince Mahama. There came a time I formed my own band. Sometimes I would hire his band to play for me anytime I had events. We worked as a team. Even though I started by learning from him, later, you know, I paid his band to record my Sochira album, the Sochira song which became Reggae Song of the Year Ghana Music Awards. It was Prince Mahama's band that backed me in the studio. It's teamwork. Lil Malik is here. Collaboration. 7-in-1 for peace. Working with 7-in-1, Sirina Isa, Malik, KKC, and Big Adam, Kawastone, Flex, Lord Wumpini. We worked together. And we shared ideas. Working with other artists, you see how they work. It helps in educating you. The last thing I would say is that from the look of things these days, if I were still to be active, or if I were to come back to the industry today, what I'll do most is live performance. Live performance, especially with the band. That's the only way you make big money now. You can still make money from so many other things, like what we are offered with digital streaming. You can make money from digital streaming, but the piracy is just uncontrollable at the moment. I tell you how much I earn from digital sales, from the online, from iTunes, from Amazon, from other private websites that we set up with some of my friends. All of that money put together, and what I can make from a couple of live performances around, within Ghana, outside of Ghana, the best thing you can do is to perform live. And the best way to perform live is to build your brand. And the best way to build your brand is to be yourself. So thank you.
I thought you put your hands together for him. Build your brand. Educate yourself. Oh. I want Sharif to come back. Sharif, I want you to do something for me. I know we're streaming live. This program is live across the world. And I know I have people outside who are watching, but they wish, oh, I couldn't understand the English well. But if you could give me a summary, 1 minute, 2 minutes, in the Bani, for that woman out there to understand what you put across, I'll be grateful.
Mbami ni toli abgale dagban le ni yele to ashamaza to amani ko en yele shem nyam ni kamane ye to ashal ni bor ni yele mazda wuhur mene anyala banga be yele yina ten jista ashal ngo ka ay bor na yila changto ni be adi amfane atuma mane she dema ngo she ayina tizal dema be zal dema ba malbuka tan dema ka bola nana ta dem ni mane ka ne to wuhe ayen de la shele kanan banke ne kane ni mane atumia adeya tin palen shi jama shelngo lore ne yire yila lore ne yir lo shel nambala sa shel dai biane aran to nye yili yina ka ba ko hare ka ba dem de dem agba gar kunya la kasete ne min sidi ne ko habu konko amate shi sa shelngo sidi nim bla kwara kasete nim kwara bin yar shanga biane ka ne to nung de yar lore brand endorsement, other working with other companies ne bin yara but ban puntum labatuma nyin dahla tuma puni an to nye lashe lor lu'she polo nyala ato parla de ngore ndiamda kan yirba yuar ka perna be ka shaban kwa nhaya nywa ka tang diam diamatba lalama mi yanto nan na ala buhan latuma ma fen yelanga ka tuma ma kar yipolo ka yulna jilma kar yipolo saya ka so kam mi kaman zalango tinde buarango shenguna ami yanto nan lalama na ala buhan la tuma fen yelanga nsata manga anye ni voso vema manga mbanga anye sopoi ka bang social anyan kwe ka tuma ma dole kar nan amfani ta nyinde to nan lala to nirbiyan tala de jilma ka bora lole kam za sabiyan nan yalla kan bako to tama yalla bande ti tiakba agbada asa shema ni shelma dole nyele ban tega yalla zona kwen zang yeto a belshele dagbanle nzang kogum balama mpaya.
Thank you so much. Yes. Oh, you don't clap at all. Are you happy to be here? Or you want me to ask again, Tamale, are you ready? You know, when it comes to pioneer music in the northern region, those who started music, when Sheriff was speaking, he didn't mention a name, a father figure, Prince Mahama. I know his songs goes by storytelling and then brings, I know one of the songs they said, if you think you have wisdom, there's someone who has more wisdom than you do. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together as we take some few minutes, 5 minutes of our father, Prince Mahama. Oh, I thought you could do better than that.
Good morning to you all. I want to hear you responding. Yeah. Thank you for this opportunity to share my experience in music with colleagues. Well, I'm Prince Mahama. You can see how I've grown old. You see, I started music as young as 12 years. That was in 1963. It was in 1963 that I started learning how to play keyboard. And then 1966, I started learning how to play guitar because there was a school band in the school I attended. That's Akropong School for the Blind in the Eastern region. Yes. And later, I started learning how to play the conga. Then later, bass guitar, and then drums. That means, actually, I have hands on all the musical instruments except horns. That's it. When I completed school, the spirit of music didn't leave me. I still had the spirit of music. I became a teacher in 1975. And alongside this teaching, I tried to form a group. That's a musical group, a band, called Afrodelics in 1976. When I was a teacher at Bichim in the Brong Ahafo region. Then, in 1979, we decided to form an all-blind group. That's a band for blind people. So we started this in Takoradi in 1979. Then, in 1981, I moved from Takoradi to Asante Mampong, where I joined a group called Royal Stars. And it was through Royal Stars that we went to Amantene. Amantene, seems it is in between Atebubu and Ejura. We went there to perform. You know, at that time I used to play guitar and sing. I used to play guitar and sing. So people came to me. After our performance, some Dagomba people came to me and said, we've been hearing people playing gonje and then, what is it? Well, Lunse on air. We don't have anything like this. Singing in Dagbonle with Western musical instruments. So try to do it. Once you play guitar and you sing, try to do it. I said, okay. So later, in 1982, I came home and started planning how to do this. So I invited some brothers to help me, or to give me helping hands. So I laid hands on Mr. S.S. Zakaria, a former Dagomba master teacher at Tamasco, and Juan Mohammed, a brother. So we came out with 6 songs. I was playing guitar, and we recorded it. And then later, I formed an all-blind band in 1983 in Accra with the support of some Germany NGO. Well, I had my first songs on air in 1984, April. That's GBC 1. They recorded my songs and started playing it on air. That is why I have been telling people that I was the first person to bring this type of music, singing in Dagbonle, using Western musical instruments. And I thank God. You see, the name Prince, though I'm from a royal family, the name Prince was, I took the name Prince to mean that I'll become a prince of music in the north. Then when I get many people as we are sitting now, you can call me a chief or king of Dagbon music. I don't have much time. I would have given you a lot. So once I'm here, I have an information that MTN is having an app on is that internet to help musicians. I wanted to tell you much about myself and the music I do. But once there is no time, I will just say that let us embrace what MTN is trying to do for us. Because formerly we used to do our recordings on what? Cassettes. We started selling cassettes, moved to albums, that's CD albums and so on. Then this time around, this time when you sell cassettes, you won't get anybody to buy it because we don't have tape recorders again. And then these CDs too, well, they are there, but phones have taken over from CDs. This time we download our songs on phones and then share with friends. So musicians suffer because we can't sell our songs anymore to get something. You see, so once MTN has come out to support us, so we can we can get something from them. I think it is something that we have to embrace. Thank you. Then, yeah, thank you for the meantime. Today can yell a biela Dagbonle. The Kunyam kama ni Chelsea Slima. Inter you womanly. Man pila ben shaten no 10 years on dabsling. Netanoma. Music, Dagbonle, Mane, Man Pille. In Zan Yili, Kazan, Jitai, and be Simeon Bunkum Nazan Pai. In Zan Nole. And you also to be Galsi. So 10 girls on my pompo, Yam and Nanya, Yokulam Bolma Prince, Beula. Babon man and na. I mean, my Nama the first, Bill. Bill Brake na Prince Mama the first. So can I sheriff Yella Binshaw? Nene to any me as a musician, Bamia, Bunkumna, Bamia Manga. Ankanas and my man and it was in Tossican, who have Bunkumna Mio. Lama so Palam band, more yellow band yet. Malam band, the Uniborn Savannah Echoes band. Then pass on my pompon, the Mambila retirement, Mblan teacher. So dinner, live band mark and Pamela Untumna. So as a musician, the two now Buam, Ben Shalmio, Ambo Bandita, Amboam organ be Bunkumli Shalmio. I know now music, the Ensong the Damam Tonya Kai recordings ma Pambiene. Shall be a Ben Yila music instruments, Mania Carado left, Yila Mami Carado left, right. That means Kakore Timbala, Yibano Shama, Yendi Milima Zo, then Tally. But I'm even coming here. Mamma, I'm to Pam and Pam Zankana are recording Pulu, be Ayila Yilbo Pulu, then Songa. So Pammy and Mamboam instruments meal. Can I say, young umpire MTN number can of 10 numbers something. Take at his hands on Tinu, Fulben young Guelnica, be it is Antiquarians, Yaguntaba, Caleraban Macarato Santi. Then so, thank you very much.
Oh, I think you keep clapping for him. Oh, aren't you clapping? Years of experience. And how many of you remember that song? One of his song soundtrack, Yem Yani, you know, Malibu. One of the finest songs you can think of. Now moving on, we just take 3 minutes of Masek Dagati. Share an experience with us. Put your hands together for him. If Nasa joins us. It's the MTN Digital Music Conference 2019. Oh, are you showing some love to him, Masek?
Hello. Yeah, my name is Masek Dagati. I'm a hip-hop recording artist from the Upper West region. And I'm here to share with you my experience on digitalizing music. And being an independent artist, it hasn't been easy for me to get fans, to shoot videos, and to pay for promotions. But then a friend introduced me to iTunes, Amazon, and a couple of digital stores that could distribute my music, sell them, and then give me money at the end of every quarter. So I started patronizing these stores, and then I think they send me a couple of dollars, and which, if you convert it into Ghana cedis, I think it can do something helpful. So and then he introduced me to MTN Color Tunes, and I'm not sure MTN even knows I get money from them every 3 months. You know, they put my songs, and when you call others, you hear my songs. So I'm enjoying from songs that I released 2 years ago, and every 3 months they pay me something, and I use it to pay DJs, to pay for promotion, shoot videos, and to pay other artists when I'm to do things with them. I think I don't have much to say, but if we start living on this line, I don't think it's all the time that we get shows and what do you call it, and deals that will give us money. But then if we start digitalizing this music, you know, we can't sell CDs anymore. CDs can be sold. People don't patronize it anymore. So as we get large followership and listenership on the internet, we can register our songs, and these distributors will do the work. We don't do the work, they do it. You know, the stores will sell it, and then the quarter gets there, they will just send you the money, and you enjoy from it. I don't have much to say. This is what I have to say. I want to encourage my fellow artists to start patronizing digitalized music and to start promoting through these digital stores. And I think it will be of good help to us all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now, are you guys happy? Let me see your right hand. Wave, 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 wave. Left, left. Put it together for yourself. Sitting through to down. Now, when it comes to music in Ghana, we have one union called the Musica. I want to hear from them how they are shaping the music industry in the 21st century, Ghana. How the emergence is going to be like as we're transforming ourselves into the digital world. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Let's welcome Black Echo. Black Echo.
Good morning, colleagues. My name is Black Echo, and today I'm here representing my noble office, Musica. I would say today is a blessed Friday because today happens to be the investiture of our new Yana Abubakar Mahama after a long break. And also we double it up with the MTN Digital Conference. We would like to say Alhamdulillah. For us in Musica, it's been a bit of a headache thinking of or looking at way back what musicians used to gain, the benefits that they used to get when they release songs, albums, and then publish them. Looking at the trend now, it's always been a headache as to the turning point, how possible it will be for our musician colleagues to keep enjoying those benefits. Looking at where we are today, it's a bit of a sad news when you have to spend so much, get into the studios, record, get funds to buy credit, to bundle, and then share it out for music lovers just for you to remain relevant in order for you to be able to enjoy that particular concert you have something minimal from. So this particular opportunity, I would say, is a very big one and timely. Looking at where we are coming from, we here in the north, it's not been easy. It's not been very easy getting our songs out there, because I don't see it from the angle of only financial benefits. Looking at it in the angle of promoting our songs also out there, it's a plus to we here in the north. And I would like to say thank you to MTN. I wouldn't say much due to time factor. I would like to conclude by saying, on behalf of Musica, colleague musicians, colleague media workers, officially welcome MTN to Tamale and to Dagbon as a whole. Thank you.
Black Echo, Musica. It says it's a good opportunity for them as a Musica to make sure that they also go into the digital world by supporting the artists to make up with what MTN is putting up. Put your hands together one more time for him. You know, in everything, there's somebody special who have to speak to us. We've been talking about streaming. Everybody is saying it's a Digital World 2019 conference put together by MTN, pushing this. And this is a person that have been in this industry. Is a person that his career has traveled over 3 countries, 19 years working across 3 different countries on the continent. And over the years has got us thousands, if I say thousands, millions or tons of what? Experience in taking advantage of modern technologies in music streaming, managing artists, and he is bringing to us what we need to know in order to decorate our career in this discussion. Don't forget there will be Q&A section where you can ask all the questions you need to do as to how, why, where, and what. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Finest. Do I have to say Finest? Oh, help me by welcoming Moyan Chastans as he joins us this morning to talk to her. Oh, put your hands together for him. 19 years doing this together. Man, it's good to see you. It's good to see you.
Hello. Hello, everyone. How are you? Good morning, everyone. Sorry, I didn't hear you when I said the first time. Akwaba. Amaraba. How is everyone today? Is anyone here? I'm not sure. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for making the time to come to learn about the industry, about the digital industry, the space where we're moving now into. So I want you to give a round of applause for yourselves for making the time, for coming here. I also want to thank MTN for putting it together, for investing in the industry. It's quite rare for such companies to invest like this. So, you know, can we give them also one round of applause? Thank you. Myself, so let me introduce myself. My name is Munya Chanetsa. Originally, I'm from Zimbabwe, but I stay in Johannesburg, South Africa. I am the managing director for a company that goes by the name of Content Connect Ghana. We registered in Ghana maybe 2 to 3 years ago, and we've been operating since, working very closely with MTN specifically. So let me give you a brief background as to who is Content Connect Ghana. So this is our mission statement. At Content Connect Ghana, we are music forward, fearlessly leading the industry, creating a home for artists that build a global recognition for African music. I've been up and down this past whole week, up and down Ghana, as maybe you have been aware or not. But that is the mission statement. We're African, and the focus is providing African solutions for Africans. So that is why we've been created. Just to give you some more information, currently, the core business of Content Connect Ghana is digital distribution. Hello? You can hear me fine. So I'm sharing that. Oh, by the way, please, guys, this presentation is going to become quite educational, so you must have pens ready, notepads, even your phones if you want to take pictures, because I'm going to be sharing quite a bit of information at some stage, so I'm preparing you now. So going back to what we do. Currently, we have a footprint in Africa. We distribute content, caller tunes, in 9 different territories. That includes South Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, Uganda, Rwanda, Swaziland, Zambia, and Cameroon. We also provide online platforms outside of the continent, such as the usual ones you are familiar with, which would be Spotify, iTunes, Shazam, etc., etc. We have offices in 3 countries so far. South Africa is the home base. We have offices in Niger, and we also have offices here in Ghana. Later on in the presentation, there's a slide that has my local representative. His name is Mark Tekpa. His details will come up, so have your camera phones ready just to take a quick snap when it comes up. So what do? We curate content. Curating is basically saying we're responsible for creating playlists on different platforms. because it's important to put your content in as many different places as possible. That way there's more chance of it being exposed elsewhere. We create content now. So for the past 2 years, Content Connect Ghana, we started investing in the creation of content because we understand the struggles that our artists and creators go through. And when I say creators, I'm not just talking about music. We also talk about video. So we also, as you're aware, if you were here yesterday, MTN has MTN Shorts. So with MTN Shorts, at CCA, we've been investing in the creation of short format content. Obviously, there's certain criteria, but yes, so we invest financially as well to assist. And lastly, as I said, is digital distribution. These are some of the, what we call added value services we provide to, I don't even want to just say artists, they become our partners. When you guys work with us, you become partners. So as I said earlier, recording. As I said, we understand that some of the issues is just being able to find a studio or even the funds to do the studio. So Content Connect Africa, Content Connect Ghana, we do invest and we have financed certain recordings of artists as well as even the music videos as well. Music publishing. Music publishing is also another service. So we don't actually do publishing, but we have relationship with great publishers. For example, we have Sony Publishing, we have Universal Publishing, we have Share Publishing. These are all different publishers that we have great relationships with, that we can also put you in the direction of a publisher if you need one. Marketing and strategy is also what we do. So when you provide us with your content to put on these different platforms, we understand it's very important not just to put the content there, because the most important thing is to direct your fans. You have to strategize and actually get people to know that your content is where it is, so they download, so they stream. So we assist in the marketing of that content because we also have very good relationships with our partners. So we can negotiate to get you a banner space. We can negotiate maybe to look at doing SMS blasts. These are the things that we would do on your behalf because, as I said, it's a partnership. Next, we do live music events. So we don't host our music events, but what we do is we act as a booking agent. So in some cases, if we have clients who need artists to perform, they come, they reach out to us, of which then what would happen, we would then be responsible for finding the artists to come perform for them. And then lastly, sync rights. So now, and this will be spoken about a bit later, sync rights is basically like an advert. We've had some clients when they do advertising, actually MTN specifically in South Africa, they want music for their adverts. Now that action of having your music playing with an advert is called a sync right. So we also assist in synchronization rights for our artists and partners. And just to give you a quick overview of all the different platforms, we couldn't fit all of them on one screen, but this should just give you a quick snap just so you see the different partners that we have reach with. This is locally as well as also internationally. So this is everyone that we do work with. I'm going to move on now. Oh, and just to add, so also yes, at Content Connect, we're also going to be launching our own streaming platform, our video streaming platform, which will be it'll be available soon. We will look and be sourcing local content. And now I'm going to get to the meat of this conference. So when I was approached to do this talk, there were 3 questions that were posed to me. And these are the 3 questions. Is streaming the new gold mine? Smart and effective methods to market and distribute music content. And lastly, I'm going to speak on global copyright trends. So we'll start with the first one, which is streaming the new gold mine? So before I start, I'm going to give you some statistics. That in 2018, globally, there were 500 billion streams of music in 2018. That is 200 billion more than 2017. So I ask you the question, if people are streaming more, do you think that there's value in that? Yes? Thank you. And not to forget, because streaming is not limited to just audio, streaming also includes video. If I add the figures for 2018, the video, in total, over 800 billion streams in total, audio and streaming, audio and video occurred in 2018. So basically, when the question is streaming the new gold mine, the first thing, what I interpreted it saying to me is there real value in streaming? And as you can see from just this is just one figure I've shared, that there is value, clearly. Recently, Netflix, you're all familiar with Netflix? Yes? No? Yes, thank you. Netflix. Netflix last week increased their subscription cost. And they did this because clearly people are streaming the videos more. Also, another stat is that in 2007, when Netflix started, if you were to have bought shares in Netflix for $1,000, today, those same shares, the value would be over $90,000. Is there value in streaming? I'm asking you. Yes. So as I said, is there value in streaming? So now what I've done in my presentation is I've split it up in two ways. We're going to be looking from the platform side, the platform being the place where you do the streaming from, and then we're going to look from an angle from the artist side, for yourselves, the artists, the value for artists with streaming. So let's move on. For the platforms, why streaming? One of the things that a lot of these platforms started doing with streaming is they realized that they wanted to give accessibility over sale. When I say that to you, traditionally, if to buy a CD, it's a once-off transaction. You come, you give me money, and then you buy the CD, you walk away. It's one sale. But now, with streaming, these platforms, what they've said is, instead of doing that once-off transaction, we want to keep you on our platforms. So what we will do, we will make millions of songs accessible to you. Millions and millions of songs. You can eat as much as you like. But all you need to do is pay a subscription service instead. Does this make sense? So therefore, for the platforms, it created more value, as you can see. One of the next points, better music tracking and accurate reporting. So I'm going to come back to this a bit later, but basically, better music tracking. Because there's many ways of creating revenue through music, it's not only through just the sale. There's different royalties that an artist will get through the sale of music also, not just the once-off. There's different royalties which I'll come to later again. But because of that, now, in shops, for example, what's going to start happening is a lot of these different places where music is played, and there's royalties whenever your song is played, they'll start using streaming platforms instead. And once you start using the streaming platforms, it's easier to track. You can see reports and actually see which songs played in my shop today, which songs did I play in my songs today. So that means better tracking. And then now, when the collection societies need to speak to these different shops that are playing your music, the reports are more accurate. Does this make sense? Yes. Lovely. Next one. One of the biggest things that streaming has done, it has helped to tackle piracy. Piracy has plagued the industry for over a decade now, and it's been out of control. But so far, and I'm saying so far, the pirates haven't been able to pirate streaming platforms as yet. So it's created security. There's less risk when it comes to the platforms. And that goes to my next point. Because now there's less risk, people are investing more in the platforms. They're creating new business models for the music industry. And I mean, when I'm saying new, we have now MTN with Music Time. They've Music Time, instead of doing it the traditional way, they've now invented a new way that you use time. You purchase time on the platform to listen and stream. You can purchase 2 hours, you purchase 5 hours instead, and it comes bundled with data. Internationally, last year, Apple bought Shazam. I think you're all familiar with Shazam, yeah? Apple bought Shazam. Why? We're still yet to see, but I'm very sure that very soon they're going to release a smart speaker. Spotify purchased an aggregator called DistroKid. I don't know if any of you have ever used DistroKid. But Spotify has have bought DistroKid, allowing people now to start putting their music directly onto the platform now. So these are the new models and new business models that are starting to arise thanks to streaming. In my next slide, I'm going to move on to the advantages or the value for the artists, yourselves. I want to repeat again that streaming has tackled piracy. That's one of the biggest advantages for you, the artists, because piracy was also crippling the artists, the industry. Revenues weren't going to the correct sources, so therefore you as artists you can't reinvest into your career. You can't put money back in. It's a lot more difficult. But thanks to streaming, it's tackled piracy. Last year, the next year, increase in unique songs played. Last year, over 3 million unique, unknown artists' music was played on various different platforms across the world. 3 million. These are artists who may not have ever released a music video. Their song may not even be on TV. But what streaming has done, because of the function of recommend, it can recommend songs. If you listen to this song, it will recommend. If you like that song, maybe you like this one. So streaming platforms have also become discovery platforms, which is a great advantage for artists. So as I said, artists that may not have officially released, in the sense, done music videos, put the song on radio, you can still there's a chance you can still earn an income through the streaming, which is a great advantage. The next point I'm touching on, engagement and growth over the sale. So once again, for an artist, engagement and growth for streaming, a single stream is not a lot of money. But now, because of the whole digital era that we're in, with social media, you are responsible you want to grow your fan base. It's about growing your fan base now. That's what it's about. If you're not on digital platforms as an artist, you need to get on one immediately. Because that's the world we live in now. It's all digital. So that's where your fans are. You need to grow your fan base. And engaging with your fan base is so important. It's not about having 1 million followers and only when you post something, 3 people comment. That's not real engagement. Engagement is when you have 1 million and almost 100,000 people can comment on your picture. Because then what happens is, now on the streaming platforms, when you release a new song, you direct your fans to wherever they need to be to see your music. I've got a new song, go to Music Time, there's the link, and you use your social media to push. So the value is growing your fan base and engagement and growing it. As I said, and lastly, for the artist, it's an additional revenue stream. On Spotify specifically, that if you can get 1 million streams on Spotify, that's $5,000. That's what it equates to, $5,000. It may not seem like a lot, but trust me, it's something which you can use to further invest in your own career. $5,000 can get you a new music video. $5,000 can cover the cost of a studio. it's a new revenue stream for yourselves, the artists, which is very key. Because at the end of the day, without revenue, there's not much more you can do. So now I'm going to talk specifically about streaming in Africa and challenges that we faced. So some of the issues in Africa has been payment gateway restrictions. So if you remove 3 countries from Africa, which are South Africa, Egypt, and Angola, less than 1% of the whole continent have credit cards. So there's a restriction there, because the reality is a lot of these platforms ask for credit cards to access the content. So that's a restriction, and it's a problem. Another one has been data is also very expensive. I'll speak for South Africa, is that I'm familiar that in South Africa, data costs are 134% more than countries like Brazil, Russia, India, and even China. So the data costs have also been a hindrance. But with them problems, I'm going to share solutions as well, because I don't just like to bring problems. One of the things I've seen is that local content is king. In each country I've been, and when I look at the statistics, I see that local content always does better than international content. So it's important for you guys to really invest in your craft. Having local content, rapping or singing in your vernacular languages. So because local is king. And with that, what we need to explore, to tackle this data issue, we need to explore new methods, such as maybe data bundles. And as I said earlier, what MTN has actually done with Music Time has done that. They're charging time. You're being charged time to use it, not data. And lastly, when it comes to the payments, we need to figure out more ways of creating payment ways for us to access the music. So like Uptown here, I understand Uptown you can use mobile money to purchase. You see, in Africa we use mobile money a lot. We should look at things like accessing banks through USSD. We should be able to do bank payments. And even using airtime itself to purchase content. So these are the ways. So ultimately, as I end this one question, I want to ask you, do you see value in streaming? Yes or no? Just one. Just tell me yes or no. Yes. So therefore, streaming must be the new gold mine. I'm now going to move on to the next part of my presentation, which is smart and effective methods to market and distribute content. So now when I was given this question, I've realized that the reality is we all know how to market, and there's no new way. No one's really doing something amazing and different when it comes to marketing and distributing. Where I see the challenge is we need to go backwards a bit more. We need to, before we even get to marketing your stuff, we need to go back. One of the biggest challenges that I've seen is that artists, you need to start seeing yourself as a business. Start seeing yourself as a brand, because that's what you are. Your music is just a vehicle to push your brand. That's it. That's what music is for you as a brand. But the most important thing is you, the brand. So now, what I like to do, and the advice I always give guys, is that just the same way, if you were to start a business, the first thing you would do is do a business plan. A business plan will just show you the projections, who's your company, what's your product, it breaks down all these things. Where's your target market? Who's your primary target market? Where's the secondary? The same way you do a business plan for a business you want to start is the same way you should as a brand. Is the sound okay? You get me? Are you in agreement with me? Thank you. So, just the same way you do a business plan, you start with who. Who are you as an artist? That's the first question. Who are you? What music do you do? What genre of music do you do? Who are some of the influences? Who are some of the guys who've influenced your sound? Who are you? That's the first thing. Who are you? What do you believe in? What do you stand by? What are the values you believe in as an artist? And I always give an example saying, for example, you should be so firm in who you are. As one of the gentlemen said earlier, you need to be authentic to yourself, because that's what people want. When the people follow you, they want to follow someone who's real. They don't want to see someone who's fake. They don't want to see fakeness. As soon as they start seeing fakeness, they will not want to follow you anymore. You have to be real and authentic. It's very correct. That's the most important thing. And you have to be so real and authentic. The example I give is, if you don't drink alcohol as an artist, you don't believe in drinking alcohol. If an alcohol brand sees you, now they want to use you, and they say, listen, here's a check for $5 million. You should be so firm and strong. You can reject it. You say, thank you, but no thank you. I don't believe in drinking alcohol. That's how much you must believe in yourself. But for me, I drink alcohol, so I'll accept the money. But that's it. So who are you? That's the first point. The next thing, you just remember this. You need to be where your fans are. You need to be where your audience is. And I say that in every aspect. Physically, digitally, everywhere. So what you need to do is, one, where are your fans consuming music? How do they consume music? And when I say how do they consume, which stations do they listen to? Which radio stations? When they watch, which TV channels do they watch? You understand? Where are your fans? When it comes to listening, streaming, which platforms do they stream their music? Which platforms do they download music? Where do they buy their caller tunes? Where are your fans? Is the next question. You need to know where your fans are. And in all honesty, you should even break it down into 1 and 2, where your primary fans, these should be the people who just love you. As soon as you drop a song, they follow you. They come straight away. All you need to say is go here. That's your primary fans. Where are they? Then you also need to look at secondary fans, people who maybe they don't really listen to your music, because you want to capture as many people as possible. Where are those people? Where are they listening? How do you make them a fan? You need to understand it like business. That's the most, you are a business, you are a brand. Music is just a vehicle. It's just one element as a brand. You can go into clothes, you can go into all different, but at the end of the day, it's the brand. So where are your fans? Next, we need to also look at, and also I said when it comes to who you are, it's important to also just to see your influences. Who influenced you? Because then at some point in time, maybe you can collaborate with your influencers, those who have, and you capture their market also. Collaboration is key. Collaborating is the most powerful thing, and that's how you grow your market, collaborating. So you must always look at that also. So now, how that all relates to the diagram here is, once you have quality music, these are the key things that you need. PR, which is public relations. PR is responsible for sampling your songs to radio, music video, to television, for getting you interviews. Now, if you have a business plan and you know where your fans are listening, it makes your PR job so much easier. You won't waste time. You'll be a sharpshooter. You know where to shoot. You're not just doing machine gun like Rambo, trying to kill everyone. You can't kill everyone. Just the same way you can't hit everyone. But if you now have a plan, you know how to catch them. In the same way, your booking agent, if you have your booking agent will know where do your fans go watch live music. They can approach those places and get you onto those stages, the right stages where you need to be seen. It makes it easier. For the distribution, you need to know, okay, for distribution, digitally, your content should be everywhere, to be honest. Every single platform where your content can be sold, it should be there. That's my belief. But obviously, what you need to do with the plan now is you'll focus on select ones. You focus on the select ones where you know your fans will be. Those are the ones that you end up work with. And also for distribution, physical CDs, they still sell, especially in Africa. And where I've seen the best place where artists should sell CDs is at their performances. Because that's when people are in the vibe. People are feeling you. They've just watched you perform. They're like, wow, where can I get? Either you should have a screen that says where your links are, or you can buy the CDs. So don't sleep on CDs yet. And always, as I said, there must be a digital strategy. You must, on social media, you must be trying to grow your fan base as much as possible. That is very important. And for the last part of this presentation, we need to look at, I want to talk about copyright, because copyright is very important. And I have another gentleman here who's going to elaborate further on copyright. So copyright, and this is where you really need your phones ready and your paper to write, so you understand. When it comes to music, there are two copyrights. There's the composition and there's the sound recording. The composition is the creation of the song. It's the people who create the melody, it's the lyrics, it's the beat. That's the composition right. The sound recording, that's the finished product. That's the thing, that's the final song, which is going to be sung, that's going to be played on radio and TV. But each of these two things carry their own rights and royalties that you are owed once you understand that. So you must understand there's always two. And now when you have registered your music properly with copyright, when you have registered properly, these are the rights you are granted. Firstly, reproduce. No one can reproduce your music without your permission. So now in the language of copyright, reproduce here is no one can make a copy of your work. No one, without a license from you or permission. Number two is prepare a derivative work. So now this is where, if you define it, it's saying no one can transform or adapt your music. So that means no one can now just sample your song and take a sample and now do remixes with your songs. No one can do that because you own the copyright. And also to add on to that, transform also means transforming the music from one state to another. So an example is no one can transform your song, because originally it's a song, and from a song you can make a music video. No one can now transform. Do you understand what I'm saying, the transformation? You can't take your song and now make it a video. No one can do that if your music is copyrighted. Number three, distribution. No one can make your song available for sale in any place. So no one can just now sell your music on any platform, whether physical or digital. And lastly, no one can perform your music without, if they don't have permission or license from you. And now perform also, you need to understand, performing is not just performing on stage with the mic. By definition, a performance is anywhere your song is heard publicly. So on radio, playing your song, that's a performance. Radio is not allowed just to play your stuff. Does that make sense? Because it's important you understand the definitions of how it really means. So no one can just perform your music without your permission. And now, for my last slide here, well, my second last slide, I want to just quickly, I know I haven't got a lot of time, but it's important to educate you guys, to be honest. You need to know these things. With down the different royalty streams as an artist that are entitled to you. And with this, I've done it in 3 different columns. Remember at the beginning I said there's 2 different royalties. There's composition for the writers, the lyrics, and I said there's also a sound recording. That's the final song. So in the first column, I'm talking to the composition rights that you have as a composer. The first one is the public performance royalty. As I said, the definition of performance is when your song is paid publicly. So basically, the collection societies who work on your behalf, their job, when radio plays your song, there's a percentage that is accrued, that is owed to the composer. And also, sorry, one thing I mustn't forget, because you're the composer doesn't mean you're the performing artist. Does that make sense? It can be 2 different, just because many artists can perform but they don't write their stuff. They have someone in the background. So this is talking to composers specifically. So as I said, as a composer, you're owed a public performance royalty. The thing is a mechanical royalty, also known as a reproduction royalty. Every time a copy is made of your song, a composer is owed money. So when I say a copy is made, when you go to a store to buy a CD, you're buying a copy of the original works. When you download a song from a platform, you're buying a copy. So every time there's a purchase of your music, there's a royalty. I call it the mechanical royalty that is owed to you. The last one for the composition, sync royalties. As I said earlier, a synchronization is whenever your song is played with, the definition is music that is played with pictures. So that means, as I said, the example was an advertisement. Using your song for an ad, that's a sync royalty. As a composer, there's a percentage accrued that is owed to you, the composer. So these are all the rights for a composer. The next one we move on to is for the sound. So now the first one is, it says recording artist royalty. So now depending on if you're independent or depending if you are signed to a label, the percentage would be different. But basically, now when someone buys your CD for 10 CD, the label will probably take their percentage, and then the rest of the money, or whatever amount is for you, will be given to you. That's the artist, that's the recording art royalty for performing the song. The next one, neighboring rights. Sometimes, at one point, I think it was very unfair that the shine is always for the artist performing. What about everybody else who's taken part in this song? The drummer, the person playing the guitar, the band. It's called neighboring rights, which is now, this is what is owed to everyone else who's taken part in the creation of your song. So there's a royalty also owed there. The last one there, which is not, it says producer's royalty. So now producer can be defined as many things. A producer can be, for me, it can be a musical director. So a musical director is not just the beat maker. Musical director will be responsible for getting the right instruments, the right sounds. They'll do the arrangement of the song to know the chorus should sit here and should sit there. When you're doing the track list of the album, they'll know this is the order. Track 1 should be this song. Track 2, that's the musical director, which can be a producer. Or on the other hand, a producer can also just be defined as the beat maker, the person who makes the beat. But either way, it doesn't matter. What can happen is, as a producer, sometimes you may not be given money up front. What the record label will say is, we will give you a royalty instead. We'll give you a percentage of all the sales instead, and that's the royalty that's there. But I must make it clear that it's also dependent on the negotiation that is had with you and the label when you're doing the recording, or the artist. And now we're moving to the last column, which is other. Now these are the money that I'm sure you're familiar with. This last column you must know. So performance fee. When you come perform, you get a performance fee, you get your cash. Simple, you know that one. Another way is income through merchandise. Now it goes back to the plan I said. When you become a brand, you need to start merchandising. You need to look at how do you grow, putting your name on a shirt, on a cap, on a bracelet. This is all different ways. This is all merchandise which you can sell and in turn make more money for yourself. That's where your mind must be. Next, sessions and appearances. So sessions is talking musician as a session musician. Because what will happen, you come through, I play guitar for your song. As a session musician, I'll get a fee. And then I said appearances. When your brand is big enough, when you can demand and pull so many people, what you will do is just for you to be present, you will be paid a fee. You won't even have to perform sometimes. Some people will say, please, we just want you to be at my party. You can just sit there, or you don't have to do anything. But even just your appearance now, you can get a fee for that. That's the level you want to be at as an artist. Next, once-off producer fee. So as I said, it also depends. Sometimes as a producer or as a musical director, you can get they'll give you a percentage, a royalty of sales maybe, or you can just get a once-off fee where they just say, thank you, sir, thank you for doing your job, here's your money. So that's one world, another way, an income stream. And lastly, sponsorship and endorsement. Once again, once your brand is big enough, other brands will want to align with you. Other bigger brands. That's where you want to be as an artist, to the point where other brands want to work, they want to be seen with you. They want you to wear their merchandise even now because they're your followers. That's how they want to do it. So these, and this is the most important slide for me, these are the different ways as artists can make money. I want to, this is at the beginning I mentioned that my local my guy who represents Content Connect Ghana, he's based in Accra. But please, can you get his details? I forgot last. And just to further continue on the copyright, we have an expert from the IP Network Ghana, Mr. Nai, who's going to now take you further to speak more about royalties. But before I leave, my tradition, I like to take a picture, only if people are happy with my presentation. Were you happy with my presentation today? Yes. Then can we please take one picture together? Is that okay? Please, and you must be smiling because you're happy. You said you were happy. So let's be one picture, please.
All right. You're doing a selfie? Oh, cheese!
I would like to call Mr. Nai to the stage now to continue on copyright, specifically in Ghana. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ibrahim Nai. I work with the IP Network Ghana and also with the Copyright Administration under the Ministry of Justice and Attorney General. Time has far spent, and I'm just going to comment briefly on the copyright law of Ghana. We have looked at how rights have evolved over time, from pre-independence to post-independence. The first copyright law, 1911, we moved to the Copyright Law Act 85, 1961, the Copyright Law PNDC Law 110, 1985, and currently we are with the Copyright Act 690, 2005. These are the legal regimes that Ghana has developed. Because for talking of all these things that we are creating as content created, if we don't have a very effective and efficient legal regimes, all our efforts will go down the drain. And so therefore, Ghana as an independent state acceded to some international conventions and treaties. The Berne Convention is there. The Rome Convention is there. We are signatory to those conventions. The recently WIPO copyright treaties, because of the evolution of, the digital environment. We have acceded to all these things. And why are we doing it? The world wants to see how best they can protect the individual interests and that of the public. The public have to enjoy your music, and you as an individual also want to make money out of your music. So the law tries to balance the interest between the individuals and that of the public. Now, let's come to look at the bone of contention, copyright. What is copyright? Copyright comes from the root word copy and write. And these two words are fused together. Then we have copyright. Before you do something from a source, the original source, it means that you need to have rights over what you are doing. Are you getting that? Now, and this right that we're talking about is what we call an exclusive right. They say that copyright is an exclusive right. It's a negative right. It means a right to prevent somebody from doing an act. Are we getting that? That is why we say it is a negative right. The right to prevent somebody from doing an act. Now let's come to fixate this argument in the context of the Act 690, 2005. In that act, section 1, subsection 1, it makes provisions for protection of works in the context of musical and sound recording. It means that whatever music you develop or you compose, you are given a right over it. Whatever sound that you have developed alongside with the music, you are given a right to that sound. So there are two different things here. We have musical work and we have sound recording. Musical work, as my colleague have elaborated initially, when it is still written, it means that there is no any sound in it. It's still reduced to a paper. Are you getting that? So if you look at the previous laws in 1961, emphasis were making on the need to protect works as far as the literary context is concerned. We protect works as it is written. But then when that particular work transforms itself, it means that the rights also changes. So initially it was reduced to a paperwork. Now there's a sound. It means that the right in the paperwork is different from that of the sound. Are you getting that? So if you look at the copyright law, Act 690, 2005, it tried to break this down for simplicity reasons. We need to understand, because if you go to the courts and you want to enforce copyright, the question they ask is that, which copyright are you enforcing your right on? Is it musical work or sound recording? Now, if you move further to section 5 of the law, it also tried to elaborate on the rights that artists like you, musicians, have over their creation. If you are a musician, you need to understand the rights that the law has given you. And that is why they call it bundle. It means that the rights you have over your creations are bundled in nature. They are multiples. Now let's look at them as my colleague illustrated here. One of the rights you have as a musician over your creation is what we call reproduction right. What is reproduction right? You need to understand. Reproduction rights are rights that is given to you as a creator over the reproducing the work into any form, either physical, or it could be in the digital form, or it could be in electronic form, So any form you want to transform this work, the right is vested on the original creator, that is a musician. So nobody can do the act without taking the consent from you. So assuming I have a music, I've assigned the music right to somebody to do. That is reproduction right to somebody to do. At the end of the day, I see Mr. B also having a small recording studio duplicating the music that you have assigned to Mr. A. It means that Mr. B has infringed upon your reproductive rights, specifically. And that is the confusion that we have in this industry. Somebody can do an assignment or licensing to a particular individual, and he doesn't understand the right that he's relinquishing. Are you relinquishing your reproduction right or the other rights? So it means that Mr. A has the responsibility to do reproduction as far as that music or song is concerned. The second one we have is distributive rights. After you have done with your music, there are people that you assign the music to distribute. So if you look at the chain, they try to take the music to the public, right? You can do it physically, and you can also do it electronically. Somebody is selling at the roadside. You can assign your distribution right to the person to do it on your behalf. That is one leg of your right. Are you getting that? Like what MTN is advertising. That is a right that you are giving to them to do on your behalf. Distribution. At the end of the day, they are going to showcase your work to the whole world to have access to. So that right has been relinquished to what? MTN to do on your behalf, which you need to understand. The other rights that you have as a musician is what we have: communication to the public. Communication. Who communicates the work to the public? So the moment you hear that MTN has developed an app and you rush in, ask yourself a question as a musician: which right am I giving to them to administer on your behalf? You should be able to define yourself very well before giving out the right to the person. That is very important. There's another aspect of right that you also have, we call derivative. Somebody wants to modify your music in a different form. Maybe it was a Dagbani song. They want to make it, let's say, an English or Hausa. Are we getting it? They are transforming the form, the content of your music into a different language. That is a right vested in you. Or there's a traditional song you want to, do a sampling out of. The traditional song belongs to a society that we classify under folklorics. How do you access this song and compile the song to become a modern song? These are rights which you need to find out before you go in for. So if you look at all these rights, they are all giving the opportunity to the one who created them. Are you getting that? And we call them economic rights. And that economic right is protected under Section 5 of Copyright Law, Act 690. If you go further to the other Section 6, it talks about the other aspect of right that you have, which we call moral right. And the moral rights are also split into two: right to authorship and the right to what? Integrity. The right to authorship is the situation whereby your song is played by a DJ in a radio station or TV station. At the end of the day, the radio or the DJ mention you as the author of the song. It means that you have the right to be named after the song. Morally, nobody can take it from you. The other one is the one that has to do with your integrity. It means that if the song is being used in a profane manner or in a derogative manner, you have the right to, to object to the usage of that song. You play a gospel music and somebody use that as a background sound to a phonographic film. You see that the two are not the same. One is phonographic and the other one is gospel. So your reputation as a gospel musician is in jeopardy in this context. And so therefore, the law gives you the right to protect. You can sue the person based on the act that he has engaged in. So in short, I think they are warning me. I would end here. Whatever concerns or questions that you have as far as this area is concerned, you can bring it out and let's discuss. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I think you could do better than that. Put your hands together for him. And together with Moyen for bringing us up to speed. We'll be having the Q&A section in a few minutes. But before that, I know you've seen some 3 stands there. One has to do with you going to have that special centers from MTN where your music can be loaded, where you can talk with them, and they can give you a form. You can go through it. If you're happy with it, you can sign on with them as well. When it comes to monitoring what goes as an airplay from the various radio stations across the country, we have a group that can do that monitoring for you as well, for you to know which areas your song have been played, whether just in Accra or in Kumasi or in Tamale or Zabzugu or in across Africa. And they came up with this Swahili word, which sounds like an Accra word, but the meaning is a well of what? Knowledge. Let's welcome Solomon to give us a 3 minutes by talking to us from Kisiman. Or put your hands together for him.
All right, good morning. I'm Solomon from Kisima. So I'm going to take you through the slides and explain what we do as Kisima. So Kisima is Africa's, we call ourselves Africa's music consumption data company. And what we did was, it was 3 young men in school. We sat down and realized there's the need to monitor what's being played on radio. Because let's say, for instance, when musicians release songs, you promote them on radio, but it's difficult to tell which radio stations are playing your songs. Sometimes you have to rely on friends and families to call you and tell you, I heard your song being played on this radio station and all. So sitting down and thinking about this problem, we came out with a solution. We built an engine. What this engine does is to take your song, then based on the song, it comes out with trends. We can tell you maybe dancehall or gospel, high life is the trend now. These are songs that are making waves more than the other genres. We also come out with charts from your airplays. So based on the plays that we collect, we can tell you which songs are number 1. And also with that, we were able to advise artists on decisions to take. For instance, if we can tell you your songs are making waves in, let's say, Kumasi than in Accra, and you want it to have equal place in these regions, you want to intensify your promotion in these regions as well, right? So we also have plans of telling you, audience, how many people have heard your songs, then their demographic. Are there more females than males? Are there more males than females? Their age range and stuff like that. Then we collect data on downloads as well and help you or advise you on how to monetize your airplays and collect royalties. Today, most musicians bash Gamro and other entities for not paying them royalties or even not paying them what they are due. But the argument becomes, what do you think you should be paid, and on what grounds are you asking for that? So with proof of play, we can tell you how many times these songs are getting played and on which radio station. So our hard work got recognized by the International World Summit last year. We were awarded best in the business and commerce category, and also we were ranked one of the 5 top music startups in the world. So our platform allows you to monitor your songs or airplays on TV and radio. It also integrates social media, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. We realized artists promote their songs on these platforms. So what we did is to connect this platform to airplays. So if you have a song entitled maybe number 1, and you post on that song on Facebook, we can then link that post to the airplays. Then you can tell whether you are getting the same reaction on social media as you are getting when it comes to how many times this song gets played. And also we tell you, audience and markets, which geographical locations are you getting placed the most, which will inform how you want to plan your tours. For instance, you won't go and play a show in a region or a location where you are not getting airplay or you are not known. So this allows you to take wise decisions when it comes to where to go play your shows and where to tour, and also informs you on how to intensify your promotions and which songs you should promote more and which songs you can allow to go generically. Okay, so we also give you reports on how these plays are going on. So based on the dates, you can pull out the plays of songs based on region, based on the broadcaster, that's the radio station or TV station that plays your song. Our technology is well known and is trusted by services like Shazam. It's the same thing Shazam uses, the same thing YouTube and the other guys also use. So it's something you can trust that is very, very accurate and stable. So we are here to serve artists like you, record labels, managers, and also entities like the Gamros who want to know which people they are supposed to pay what amount to. All right, so we are over there. If you want to know more about what we do, you can meet us there. We'll take you through the product and help you sign up. Thank you very much.
Or put your hands together. I gave him 3 minutes and he did under 3 minutes. Very soon we'll be we'll be pulling the curtain to close. I know the ladies are going around distributing some coupons to you. That gives you the privilege to pick your lunch, and then you can go grab your lunch right after we walked out from here. But it's now time for us to pick your questions, what is bothering on your mind. If you can't speak, you can tweet to the hashtag MTN DMC19, and then you can put your question there. I'll read it. But we have with me Arnold Mashut to join me up, and also Moyen also joins us as we take your questions for the 2019 edition of the Digital Music Conference in the Northern Sector. Put your hands together for them as they come. So if you have a question, I'll be giving them a mic each. If you have a question, you lift up your hands. I'll come and give you the mic. And also, if it has to do with the copyright issues, the man is still there. You can ask the same questions and I'll post it. But don't forget, when we're leaving, I'm telling you, just walk in there, the music time. I went there. I want to start making some music so I could make some few luchis as well. So I could register there as well. So if you have any questions now, let me lift up your hands. I'll walk to you. You can ask your question. We're doing this like in 5 minutes. You have a question? Okay.
Good afternoon. Okay. I'm Big Malik. We are welcoming MTN to Tamale here. And I know by this time all my colleague musicians are happy for this digital music business MTN is introducing, because currently all of us are accepted that music is not buying, and I know everybody will want to be on this particular platform. So what I want to know is that what is the process before you go into this digital MTN digital music, so that if you want to put your music into it, so that whereby you can also be getting little one from MTN, the process that will pass, and you can also be part of it. Thank you.
Hello. Is it working? Oh, yeah. Thank you for your question, sir.
Thank you too.
So the process, if you want to get your music onto MTN has various different aggregators that plug into MTN that provide digital content. So Content Connect Ghana is one of the aggregators that MTN works with. I hope you got my rep. Yes, if you got his contacts, the process would be with him first, and we ask you to at least. Hello. Hello? So the process we do at Content Connect Ghana is we ask you to submit at least 3 songs, of which we have an A&R team that they go through all the submissions of people who have submitted music. And the purpose of that is for us to listen to make sure the quality and the music is also marketable. It's not profanity. And if you cross those three things, if you pass those three, then what we would do is we'd get in touch with you to either one, we would ask you to share your plan. As I said, we don't want to work with guys who want to try and have the one-hit wonder. People who are doing music for a hobby. We want people who are serious. So we'll ask you for your plan. What are your when are you releasing your songs? Have you done? Are there music videos also coming? What other marketing plans do you have? And the reason we also ask this is because we want to support whatever you are doing also. If you submit a plan that is satisfactory, then we will share a contract with you, of which we just need to review. We negotiate. Once we negotiate on the contract, and actually, I have a few samples. They're very few. There are a few of my sample contracts at the Simfi stand there. There's few though, so you have to run to catch them. But if you get the contract, you're happy, you read it, then we sign the contract, and then you need to, then from there, in order, we cannot upload music anywhere unless we have three things. One is obviously the music. Number two is artwork. We need the artwork for your song. Number three is metadata. And metadata is the biggest challenge across the continent. Metadata is basically the song information. We have a template which we would share with you, but we need information. What is the song name? Who's the artist? Who's the composer? Who's the publisher? Song duration, country of origin. These are questions you should have already. These are things you should have already. But it's all in the, so that's the process to work with Content Connect Ghana, of which we will upload your content onto platforms such as MTN in Ghana, MTN in the other territories where we work as well. I hope I've answered your question. Thank you.
All right, so we'll pick the next set of questions. But don't forget to visit the Music Time, the Uptown, and also, my friends, Kissiman, and all, get the forms. It's important for you to be get your music loaded so you can make some cool lochi. If you could speak into the mic. Yes. Good.
So we thought it wise that maybe you would educate us more on getting onto the Caller Tunes and other digital platforms, just like he said. Well, I know of the Caller Tunes, how you can get on, but I don't think everyone here knows how to do that. And since it's an MTN program, you could use that as an opportunity to educate us more. What I've learned here is that digital platforms are important. You make money out of it, but how do I get on it? I think it's very important. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. It's a very good question. You know, digitization of your artwork, you know, can take different forms. You know, Caller Tunes, as you rightly mentioned, has been in the system. And some of us, at least, we've worked with you to put your songs on the Caller Tunes. And some of you have started even making money out of that. But if you look at this particular technology that is coming out, it's a new form of how you can digitize and make money out of your creative works. Now, if you look at the digital platform, no, MTN is not the sole organization responsible for that. Like the presenter mentioned, they are an aggregator. So MTN do not actually interact with the musicians. They have to do that with aggregator or content providers. You know, MTN work with content providers. So before you can upload your song or digitize your creative works, you need to work with a content provider or an aggregator. I hope you understand. So one of those content providers or aggregators is being heavily represented here by this gentleman. I hope you understand. So what you need to do, what we can encourage you, like you said, music is business. So if you are going into the music industry, you need to have it at the back of your mind that you are going to do business. And business, you can't do a successful business if you don't have a strategic plan.
So you need to have the strategic plan first, then you can discuss further so that they can enlighten you on the way forward before you can get on contract. I hope you understand. It's just, there are several ways of making money. Some of us, we sell pure water, isn't it? Others will do music for a living. Others are government employees. So it's just one of the other mediums that you can use to monetize your creative works. I hope we are clear. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Welcome.
Good afternoon. My name is Ganiu Muhammad Hadi Yuma. Please, want to know if you are trying to upload your songs on this platform, that's MTN Digital Music, something we don't know much. Can you walk directly into the office of MTN, because there are other people who are here and some are not here and they don't know how they can be able to reach those people that can upload their products on it. And secondly, if you are uploading, how do you do it? Are you paying? How much is it? Can you pay through your MTN mobile money? And after that, if you pay, how much will one get per view if you have your product being uploaded in that particular app? How much will one get per view of maybe anyone who is trying to go through your works? And then number 3 or number 4, or finally, I'm asking this question because we were having some issues with Xylophone Cash, which I think Mashoud will know much about it, which we bought the card, and then we did not ask per a view how much we'll get in returns. And then later on, maybe we did not understand because the highest person who have gotten the view was Shatta Wali, and he had about, I don't know, 60 Ghana cities or so. So we don't know if we upload our songs here, how much we'll get per view. And either we can work directly to the MTN office for the uploading.
All right. Thank you so much for your question. I think those 3 questions are lovely questions, and then it's expected. You know, we were all in Tamale when we had the experience of Xylophone Cash. So I'm not so surprised that a question like that came up. However, fortunately, I've been a telecom engineer, and I've worked with MTN and other network operators, and as a content provider, so I understand some of these things. They are content providers or content aggregators. So far as this particular platform is concerned, there's no need for you to walk straight to MTN. No. So your first point of contact will be their outfit, because they are fronting for MTN. So you will discuss all the business models and modalities with them. Then sign a contract, you are on it, then you can roll. But for the revenue aspect of it, my big man here will highlight on that. Thank you.
Yep. Hello. 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 Yes. I think the reason why we came with some of our partners is because of this question. We have Aftown sitting at the back there. They are a partner. They aggregate, and they have the platform that people are able to listen to your music. Once we close, you just walk in there, they will take you through the process. Asking about the shop or going to the office, if you go, the information that you get will mainly be the partners that we work with, because we don't deal with individuals. We have few aggregators that we work with, because we cannot reach all the artists in Ghana. That's why we have few we work with. Content Connect is one of the aggregators that we work with, as Munya rightly mentioned. Aftown is a partner that we work with. They also have a platform that they aggregate music, and people are able to use mobile money to pay. So once we are done, you can pass through Aftown. Content Connect works with Music Time. Music Time is also another platform that MTN is coming up with. So once you pass through there, they will also take you through the process of onboarding or coming on board onto MTN. With Caller Tunes, once you sign up with Content Connect or any of our other partners, you can also get your content on the Caller Tune platform and all the other platforms that we have.
And just to answer the question about fees, with Content Connect Ghana, there's no fees that you have to incur. So, as I said at the beginning, we want to be a partnership where we're working together. So, there's no fee you incur to work with Content Connect Ghana. If anything, what we request is that we work on a revenue share. So when you make money, we also make money. So that's the split that we'll need to negotiate between us. What's the percentage split? So obviously it will vary, but yes. And at Content Connect, we never take more than the artist. So we always start at 50% split, and it always will be in your favor upwards. But in order for it to go upwards, we need to understand the value that you're also bringing also. Does that answer your question?
I think, let me add to it. Working with MTN, we don't charge you before you bring your content on the platform. We are partners, and you don't charge your partner to come on board. So once you sign up, or if you are going to any aggregator and they are demanding money from you, please be wise. Just look out. We don't charge you. In any case, we are supposed to pay you when people stream your music or listen to your music. We are supposed to pay you based on how much they've paid. So we don't charge for coming on board.
Just a bit of information. If you look at the revenue share, so far as somebody mentioned Caller Tunes, we provided such services before. The revenue share per the last check, I think the MTN officials are here, it was 70-30 in favor of the network operator, where the 30% will be shared between you, the artist, and then the content provider. So the 30% is not even coming straight to you, the artist. It depends on the agreement between you and the content provider, because MTN or any other network operator will not deal with you straight. They will deal with a content provider. So when revenue are accrued, what the network operator will do is to take 70% of the revenue with the Caller Tune service. So about 70% of the revenue, and then the 30% will now be shared between you and then the content provider. So with this with this model, I think 50-50 between you and then the content provider it appears to be good. Is good, but I don't know if that particular information has been reviewed. But per the last check, it was heavily in favor of the network operator. If there's a new model that is coming on board that will give more light to, individuals, why not?
I think on the revenue share, let me also state that MTN does all the marketing. Once you put your music on the platform, it's our responsibility to do the marketing. We use our channels. Marketing, I'm talking about using our social media channels to promote it. But we also need the artists to also help. You just don't put your music there and go and sleep. If people don't get to know, your music will not fly. So we need you to work with us whilst we are using our social media platform. And this platform is one of them. You understand? Using for education and other channels to just push music. We need you also to promote the music that you have so that we can get people to stream and we enjoy at the end of the day.
All right, so there's a hand there. Okay.
Yeah, I have a question to ask. So when I saw this, I thought it was the We There For You, I thought it was a new application MTN was bringing out, like iTunes, Spotify, and Shazam and all those stuff. That maybe you download and pay through mobile money and all that. Because what I just wanted to know is, what I'm trying to say is that the main problem is with the restrictions with some of these platforms. Because, for iTunes, it's restricted to only iPhone and OS users. And then, so I've once downloaded an album from Uptown, and I realized that using mobile money to download, it makes it quite easier, because you can download from any other. So I thought maybe if MTN could collaborate, because I've realized that coming to the summit, I realized that it's not actually a platform MTN is introducing. MTN is only organizing a summit for artists and artist managers to know how to monetize their songs. So I would like to bring a suggestion, like if MTN could collaborate with these platforms so that payments could be made through mobile money and other sources, that would make it even easier, because the restrictions, you try to download and they ask for your this thing, MasterCard and credit card and other stuff, which most of the audience don't have. So that's just a suggestion I'm trying to bring across. I don't know if MTN has such plans.
Okay, I think all of you bear witness that from the start of this program, and even Munya's presentation, he alluded to the fact that most of the platforms that others mentioned, which are iTunes and others, demand for credit cards. And that is the main reason why MTN has partnered with the likes of Aftown, Music Time, where consumers of your music can buy with either airtime or mobile money. So if you are here from the beginning, this is the main reason why we are here, apart from helping you to understand the alternative channel to performance or CD sales or whatever that is not picking up well now. These are the other channels that you can use where it is easier for the customers to buy with airtime or mobile money. So that is why we are here. And if there's any confusion, just to clarify that is why we are here. And so Aftown is a locally fully owned Ghanaian entrepreneurs who have come out with a platform. If you listen to the radio or TV, some of the local artists now release their songs and it's on Aftown. Music Time is a new platform that MTN will be launching soon with our partners in Africa. So that is also another platform. So you don't lose anything, like Munya said and other speakers, by putting your music on different platforms. People choose platforms that they go and download music. Someone can choose to go on iTunes, or someone can choose to go on Spotify. So these are all platforms that are available that you can put your music on. That is why Yao said that if we close, take time, go to Kisima, what they can do for you as an artist, go to Music Time, what they can help you do as an artist, and go to Aftown and speak to them. They will explain to you more as to how they can help you maximize your content or your music on these very platforms. And the key here is that it is local. People can buy with airtime or mobile money, not credit cards. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah. Yes, please. My question goes to Mr. Ibrahim about the musical and the sound rights. I want to know, after a song is done, who owns the sound? Because sometimes the musician will show the engineer how he or she wants the sound to look like. So after the song, who owns the sound? That's what I want to know.
Thank you very much. This is a very complex area, and if you look at it, we have a way of going by it. Let's take it that you are a sound engineer. Somebody comes to record a song. The arrangement or the contract between you and the musician may be that the musician commissions you, the engineer, to develop a particular sound for him. Are you getting that? In the law, we have how commissions people are treated. Are you getting that? So if you are commissioned to do an act, it means that at the end of the day, the right you have in that particular sound is reverted to the what? To the musician, because you were commissioned and you were paid for the services rendered to him. So naturally, musicians are the owners of sound. If it is not stated in the contract that the sound engineer has an interest, and so therefore, if you look at the criteria that goes in to about right that somebody enjoys, and those criteria, if we measured, and it is that these particular 3 ingredients that gives you the right has been given to the musician, it means that you as a sound engineer is a commissioned person and your right has been relinquished or transferred to the musician. Are you getting that? But however, if it is that you also has an interest, right from the beginning, you indicated in a contract that that particular sound that you have developed is your intellectual property, the law will also take care of you. Because it might be that you have not been commissioned to do it. You utter it in that particular music, and so therefore you also have right in it. Are you getting that? But if you commission somebody to do it, the one who has commissioned is the owner of the right. I hope I answered the question. Thank you.
Hello. Okay, my name is Abdul Karim, ZSM Foundation. Please, I would like to know, in a day, the number of people who drop onto this platform to download the music are so many. And in an internet principle, there's a final principle that we call network neutrality. So I want to know, how do you people make it that a customer get easy, faster, and then a lesser data consumption on this platform before downloading the music? Thank you very much. I hope you get me, Mr. Arnold. Okay. What I mean is, on this platform, in a day, a number of people who drop onto this platform to download the music are so many. And in an internet principle, there's a final principle in an internet called network neutrality. So I want to know, how do you people make reservation that a customer can get an easy, faster, and then lesser data consumption before download this song? Because there are so many platforms that people can go and then download the music. So when I'm onto this platform to try to download the music and it slows and other stuff, or the data consumption is too high, I can just leave and talk to my colleagues that, oh, they should leave this platform, they shouldn't go there and download, they should go to this. So how do people make reservation for this? Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Fortunately, you are speaking to an IT person. I'm an IT professional. I am an IT professional. And if you look at, the speed of uploading your song is dependent on several, obstacles. One, it could be the bandwidth, your location, and then the reliability of your internet connection. At times, because of certain reasons beyond our control, you see the network fluctuating. So as at the time that probably you are trying to access the service, the network is relatively low. So that time, you might think that the service is not actually good enough. It's just because of the time that you are trying to access it. However, I'm also aware that there are applications that consumes heavy bandwidth. So in that light, it's going to take relatively, greater time to access the service as compared to those that are light. But with this particular service, we already know that music or songs carries a lot of weight. So the applications are developed to be very, very light. So that means that, what that means is that, take it or leave it, if there is fast internet connection to your phone or your PC, you should be able to get the application to do whatever you want to do it within the shortest possible time. So at times, it's not about the application, because every application is designed with certain key ingredients in mind. One, reliability. Two, speed. You get it? And as an application like that, those key things are also taken into consideration. So at times, the location or the bandwidth, but let me just stand here and say, okay, probably if you are using any other services, MTN has 4G service now. That gives you reliable and faster internet connection. So I'm sure after this one, I'll invoice them anyway. So you can subscribe to the MTN 4G. That will give you reliable and faster internet connection, so that you don't face such issues whenever you want to access the service. But you are rest assured the applications are developed they are very, very light. So that means they don't consume heavy bandwidth before you can access it. Thank you.
All right, so what we're going to do is I'll treat this as the last question. Then I know it's time for us. Most of us will have to go pray, and then we'll pick our lunches. But Music time after Kisterman will still be around till 2 p.m. You can come back, go there, ask your questions. They will lead you through the process. You can still join the conversation on the hash MTN DMC19, and then we'll still have the conversation there. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm George Luguche, popularly known in industry as G. Cliff. I think I want to make a suggestion. For those of us who are not here, I think if we have someone specifically among us, to spearhead, getting them on the digital world if we live here, I would suggest maybe Mashoud as in person. Probably some of us are not here. So when we leave here, it's going to be difficult for those who are not here to get access to what we learned here, at least. Once Mashoud is here, and he has been an influential value in the industry here already, so I think it's a suggestion. If it's allowable, then you guys will see to it. Then we get someone specifically. When we leave here, we can inform our friends. If you want to do that, you see so and so, he will take you through it, and then you get it done. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Probably
Mashoud, before you talk to this, how many ladies are here? Let me see your hand. All the ladies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, almost about 60. None of you have asked question. I just need one lady to ask a question, and then we can wrap it up. Just one. Who? You there? Put your hands together for her. Can you give her the mic? Kindly do that for me. Do that. The lady should ask a question that we can go.
Okay. I'm Ziblila Zakiatu from Tamale Online. Please, I would like to know whether the news bloggers have the same package as the musicians, or you have a different package.
I didn't hear you. If you can take that again.
What she said was, we've been talking about music, and this whole thing is about creative industry. Whether movie or any short video, you can monetize it. It's like the concentration is on music. And she asked whether bloggers and other creative arts industry also have their share.
Yesterday you weren't here. Oh, we had a nice time here yesterday.
Thank you. Yesterday it's actually a 2 days program that we had. Yesterday was focused on movie producers, directors, actors, and this whole place was filled up. We have over 200 participants yesterday, and so if we close, okay. Where is the farmhouse rep?
The farmhouse. Farmhouse.
Let them see you. If you want to ask any particular question about short videos, because MTN has a platform called MTN Shorts, where we also want to help movie producers to monetize their movies, podcasts, funny videos, and then animations. So they are the aggregators for that as well. So you can see them. They will take you through the process and educate you more as to how you can get your video content onto that platform as well. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. I think this is where we draw the curtain. Most of you want to go pray and then grab your food. But don't forget, music time, uptown, Kistima are still here. They'll be here till 2 p.m. So if you have any questions, you can come back or you can ask now before we take leave. Mashoud.
Please, for your information, in case you have any other question or suggestion or want to subscribe to the service, the Hyperlink Media Office is available. So you can always contact us for us to champion that for you. Thank you so much.
All right, and also the conversation can still be on. Your questions to the hashtag MTNDMC19. You can still send your questions there. We want to say a big thank you to Farmhouse, a big thank you to MTN, A big thank you to our headline speaker and also Mashood. And all of you, not forgetting the Sheriff Gali, Prince Mahama, Kawa Stone, and also the Gati Masek. And we say God bless you.
Almanta kudu mapita na shi unafiki